Your wife wrote the script for Take Me Back for Christmas. At what point did you know you wanted to star and also direct it?
I knew I wanted to direct it very early on. Her and I kind of brainstormed the idea together. So from the beginning, it was sort of I knew this was a story that I wanted to tell. It was very close to both of our hearts. And then in terms of the acting, that kind of came together. I was sort of casting the other roles. I wasn't necessarily
Mm.
thinking of myself in this, but when we cast Vanessa Lenges, our star, who I've known my whole life, her first ever acting job was on a series that I did when I was 12 years old.
Oh,
And we did Heart of the Holidays, the first film that I
yeah.
directed a few years ago together. So when we knew we could get Vanessa, all of a sudden the producers and everyone started getting excited at the idea of that we would reunite together on screen. And
Mm.
I knew the script so well that it was the logical next step. I said, okay, I'll step in and play Aaron as well, and we had a lot of fun.
Like you're just saying, this isn't your first time directing. Have you found that your experiences behind the camera have impacted the way that you've now approached your work on screen and vice versa?
100%. I think anytime you get a chance to wear a different hat, it gives you more of an appreciation for the other side. And I've been fortunate, over the years, starting working as an actor at a very young age, I've gotten to learn from so many different directors over the years.
Mm.
And man, the way, so, this person, did this technically or worked with me and the other actors, you kind of take little bits along the way. So as an actor, I was always absorbing that. Now getting to be a director on the other side, I'm trying to utilize, some of the language that I know that worked for me as an actor with my
Mm.
act. And they go hand in hand, but I do have to admit, the directing side is a real pleasure because it's, you get a chance to really get your fingers in all aspects of it and work with the crew and everybody. And yeah, I've learned more just sitting in the director's chair, watching it
Mm.
all, appreciating what everyone else does on the set even more. Even when you're there as an actor, you don't even realize just how much work goes into just getting there to shoot on the day.
You all shot this film in 13 days. How helpful was it having that prior friendship with Vanessa as you prepared to tackle that dynamic between Aaron and Renee? What was it like getting to collaborate again?
It's huge. As you said, 13 days. It's hard enough to make a film, and you're getting thrown in this particular film. We're playing husband and wife. So
Yeah.
having that relationship with her, that continuity, that friendship we had, you don't have a ton of time to rehearse, but you do have so much trust that you just kind of dive in there together. And like I said, having Vanessa there makes it all that easier. And it being my wife's script, having her support,
Mhm.
we worked with the same production team before, so there was a real family element to the film, and that allows you to get the most out of the limited time you have.
Yeah, and you and Vanessa have both talked about how it's rare to get the opportunity to make films with your friends, and that trust and that camaraderie comes across on the screen. Do you have a favorite behind the scenes moment from this filming experience?
Oh, there's so many. We always laugh about. Well, there's two things. Our first day, we did all the cooking scenes, so
Mm.
that was a really fun. And I'm not a professional chef, so that's where the acting came in. But that was a really fun, and it was an improvisational scene that we did together, and that kind of set the tone, I think. And then our last day, we did all the skating and hockey scenes, and
Mm.
I've always loved hockey, and it was the last day and it was pouring rain all morning, and how are we going to get this? And then lo and behold, the sun came out, and Vanessa, she skated, but she'd never played hockey before. So the whole
Yeah.
time she's going, how is this going to go? And I just said, look, let's just go out there. Even if it doesn't work out, it'll be very endearing and fun. So those two, we kind of bookended the shoot with the cooking on the first day and then the skating on the second day. And those are such fun tropes of Christmas films, food, and
Mm.
doing activity. And they were some of the most fun we had on the shoot.
Characters are so layered and nuanced. As a director, how did you create this space for Vanessa to explore all of the themes of grief and the vulnerabilities of her character?
We had as many conversations about it going, and Vanessa is so
Mm.
good. She brings so much, so many ideas and intuition anyway. And her and I have a very similar sensibility on what we're trying to achieve on screen. So, I always like to do, like, even if it's just her and I, we just do a little read of the script, because Kate is the writer, my wife,
Yeah.
little tweaks that we want to make. We did as much of that as we could. And then on the day, our production team does such a great job of setting up and having us ready to go so that we could kind of have that
Mm,
quiet space and just let the actors do their thing. I tried to plan all the technical stuff as meticulously in advance as possible so that we weren't wasting time on set that way. We were just there
mm,
getting the emotional. And as you said, we're very proud of the nuance of the relationship, of the
yeah.
emotional, the relationship with her and her mother. I really wanted to create a safe environment for the actors to feel that they could really go there emotionally, despite the fact that the clock is always ticking. But I think by and large, because the team did such an incredible job, we never really felt that rushed. We never left the scene without feeling like we had, really turned over every stone. So that's a nice feeling to have going into the
Yeah.
post-production.
Yeah, it's a fantastic film. And, Kate is incredible at weaving all these universal themes within the film. And there's a beautiful conversation between Renee and her best friend where they're talking about home being less about a physical location and more about the people that you surround yourself with. Who's home for you and who have been the people in your own life who have supported you on this journey?
My family. For me, I was very, my parents and my brother growing up, starting at such a young age, it takes a lot.
Yeah.
Being a child actor, it's not just, for that person, it's, the support you need from your parents or guardians or whatever that is. So first and foremost, them. And then into my adulthood, Kate, my wife and I have been together for 10 years and collaborating, doing this together. We're very supportive of each other on both sides. And it's funny how one of the main themes of the film is my character's trying to get through to Vanessa's character, Renee, to not give up on the dreams
Yeah.
and that sort of support. And that's where I could tap into the Aaron side of things, because I'm very much
Mm,
like that with Kate and vice versa. A life in the arts has its ups and downs. Life always throws you unexpected things. But if you're fortunate enough to have that love and support, in trust with the people around you, it does give you the courage to take risks and to take chances. And more often than not, I think when you really listen to your heart, good things happen.
yeah.
Um, and that was something that runs very, prevalently through the themes of the film. So that was really nice to have kind of that maturity, that sort of a mature love story, as being a really strong element. So we were proud of that, and I'm very proud. Kate, I'm biased, but she really is such a talented writer. And then when you
Yeah.
have such talented actors that take it and can take it even to another level, that's all you can really ask for.
Your direction as well. And so often in life we don't get second chances, but for Renee, she gets that opportunity. If you could get a second chance in your own life, what would you like to do over?
Oh man, that's a great question. And to be honest, I've even the things, in life that I found that, didn't fall the way you would have hoped, more often than not, I've, not to be cliche, but, when one door closes, I find another one opens very much in life. And things tend to happen when you least expect them. So there's not a lot that I would go back, because even the things that, would be considered, failures or falls, I think you learn from a lot of the time. I
Yeah.
find myself constantly learning, in life as well as professionally. So I wouldn't really go back and change anything. I've been really fortunate in my life to pursue the things that I love, and to be surrounded by great people. But I can understand the allure of those who have not had that fortune to want to have a second chance. And Vanessa and I always laugh, even doing the press for the film, is the cautionary tale is if you're going to make a wish, make it specific,
Yeah.
because God, be careful what you wish for, right? And that's where the sort of the wish, the pie in the sky fantasy versus um, being in tuned to what you already have, and that's a really strong sort of message that flows throughout the film as well. So, yeah, that's a great question. I can't think of one, but I can understand the idea of like, man, but if this had gone that way, that would have been so cool. And maybe it was a message from my wife that we need to build a much larger closet, or some of the fun things that, not to do too many spoilers, but there's definitely some fun stuff that I think a lot of people can relate to, that anyone would
Yeah.
want certain things, that dream job or that dream position or that dream place to live. But really, the message is ultimately it's the more internal things. It's the having love and support and pursuing your own dreams. That's what ultimately the lesson is, that's the most important thing. The other stuff is just bonus.
Great answer. I got one final question for you. You've done it all throughout your career. What's left on that bucket list?
Oh, there's so many things. I love storytelling. I love the art of filmmaking. I've been fortunate enough to be acting my entire life, but the idea of being involved in the whole process to continue to tell films, I hope that I'm just getting started. I hope
Mhm.
that there's many more we want to explore, more films in this genre. We want to explore other
Yeah.
genres, but I've fatherhood is fairly new. I have a 4-year-old and another on the way, so there's those aspects as well. Just sort of continuing to grow as a family is super important, and on the other side, having the opportunity to collaborate and sort of create your own content has been a real blessing for us. So we hope to keep that up,
Yeah.
and to keep pursuing telling hopefully meaningful stories that will mean a lot to people. And yeah, I just hope to continue on the path that I am and keep learning and hopefully get better at it every chance that I have at it.